honest, the thing I don't love is that most of my keepers are pitchers, so I don't love that part. But like Madison Bumgarner, um, Matt Moore isn't a very star keeper, but and then I have Gene Segura, hoping Manny Machado banks in on his potential or cashes in his potential. Um,
Is this the
uh,
type of league where you can keep guys indefinitely?
no, we do 3 year limit, and then if a player gets traded or dropped, their 3 years resets. So like if we've been playing a couple years, if I have a guy that has 1 year left on his contract and I trade him to a different team, he regains that 3 years back for that team.
Okay, yeah, I play in a league where the opposite is true. It's 3 year limits, but those contracts hold up. It's interesting. It's a subtle wrinkle. I think I would like to try the other way though. That sounds like people would be a lot more scared of dropping players or trading players if they knew that they were giving them away for 3 more years instead of just the balance of the contract.
Yeah. One thing I've made the mistake of because you can only keep him for 3 years is I've put a little too much stock in prospects. Not like super young prospects, but prospects that are like a year away from the majors, like Taiwan Walker. If I keep him this year, he's got 2 years left, and if he does good, that's great. But I'm sure he's not going to be a star pitcher in the next 2 years.
Hmm.
It's more of trade bait, I guess. If he turns into a stud, and I only have 1 year left on him, it's a good idea to trade him.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Corbin here and bring my starting pitching staff up to Sale, Price, fucking Hamels, pardon my French, Cueto, and Patrick Corbin. Uh, Despite the fact that I took two starters kind of earlier than I would normally, I don't like this pitching staff very much. I don't know. I feel like I could have maybe gotten more value in the middle rounds. Although, like, I don't think my offense suffered at all. Or I mean, not at all, but I don't think my offense suffered too much. Um, I don't know. This is a weird draft for me. I didn't have a good feel for it, but I do like this team overall. I can't tell if it's good or not. Any thoughts as far as the team that I drafted here? Can you poke some holes in it for me?
Oh, yeah, I agree with your comment about the pitchers. Um, I think your outfield might be kind of rough.
My outfield is very rough, and that is a
Yeah,
problem.
that was I was kind of sugarcoating it. Yeah, it's pretty rough. um, other than that, there's a lot of guys that I like, but I don't love, like Kinsler, Andrews, people like that.
Yeah, I feel like I may have reached for a few of those guys when I should have been taking best player available in more cases. Um, so I don't feel great about that. But again, like it's hard to know really before the season starts how good your team is, and it's hard to even know before June sometimes. But I don't know. I when I have like a sour feeling about a team like this, I tend to I tend to not worry too much about it because I trust my ability to kind of make smart pickups during the season and to like manage a pitching staff with waiver wire and streaming type moves um, to keep me competitive there. So yeah, I'm not excited about this team. Like I think I like the team I drafted in the last mock better, but I don't feel terrible about it. And I think I could, given some like smart management, lead this team to maybe like a top four finish. It definitely doesn't feel like a
Yeah,
first place team to me.
yeah. Honestly, as long as your team isn't complete crap, if you are incredibly active, it's pretty easy not to be a last place team.
Yeah, I mean most of the best players, uh, or like not most of the best, but like most of the players you draft aren't going to finish the season on your roster. Um, all right, I'm going to make one more pick here. Do you want to make one more pick before we sign off, or should we just wrap it up after this one?
Yeah, one more pick is fine. If you're cool with it.
No, that sounds good, man. I mean, I could do this all day. Um, yeah, I think I need to take another batter here and round out my offense. I don't know who the right guy is for this team. I'm tempted just to take Ben Revere on the like pure uh, kind of one category stud aspect, like just get a ton of steals. Um, But I'm going to reach a little farther down into the rankings. I'm going to highlight a guy who's just having a really good spring. I don't know if this is a pick I would make in a real draft, but Moustakas, Mike Moustakas, making my fourth. Man, I have the entire Royals offense. This team sucks. Oh, man. But Moustakas is off to a really hot start this spring, and he might be due for, kind of a breakout year if he can continue that into the regular season.
Yeah. On an off-topic, Steve wants to do an auction. So, I mean, you can't snake picks in an auction, so I'm down for that.
Okay. Well, we'll try to set that up. I mean, I guess the thing is you don't really have to stream the entire draft just as much as you want to. We've been going for, going on 2 hours here. And thankfully, YouTube splits up the videos when we put it on the site. But, yeah, I just don't think anybody would have the patience to sit through, 4 hours of an auction.
Yeah. I think one thing to consider too I think it'd be harder to live stream during an auction. I feel like it'd be more busy and harder to stay focused, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you're absolutely right. It's much easier for me to talk right now because I don't have a pick coming up for a really long time. I could wax poetic about how I think Jonathan Villar, or VR, the shortstop for Houston, is a nice value here because he's going to give you a ton of speed really late in the draft. Kind of along the lines of Ben Revere. And I can talk because I'm not on the clock right now. In an auction, you have to be paying attention all the time because you don't want to miss out on any value at any position. All right, you got one pick left here, Zach. Who's it going to be?
Well, I've got 2 utility spots open. So, I mean, it's going to be a batter. It just, seeing that I'm probably going to, we're ending live stream and I'm probably going to leave after this pick, I would have liked to pick Deaza, but Jeff took that. And I'm going to reach really far down the rankings for George Springer, just because he's a guy I would usually take in the 22nd or 23rd round anyways. And I think as my last utility spot, if he doesn't turn out to do anything this year, it'll be really easy to fill in for him. So I'm not too worried about him not producing. It's mostly just straight upside right now.
Yeah, I mean, is he gonna? Do you think he's gonna start the year on the major league squad, or I mean,
I don't think so, but I think he'll be up for most of the year.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me, Zach. I appreciate you kind of signing on to Skype through this with me, and I know it was kind of frustrating for you at times to have to talk about your picks while you're making them, but you definitely you held up your end of the bargain. You got a lot better at it as we went on, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah. Thanks for the invite. It was a lot of fun. If you don't mind, I'd love to join in on the next one.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I'll keep letting all the writers know as we continue to do these mock drafts because, I mean, I need the practice. Like I said, I don't have a great feel quite yet for what we're doing, just on a fantasy baseball drafting, tip. But, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And make sure to check out thefakebaseball.com for all your draft prep needs and a bunch of good team previews, rankings, and just a ton of other good content. We'll have a lot of daily fantasy content during the season. So, yeah, come check us out, thefakebaseball.com, and stay tuned to me on Twitter at Greg Sauce. I'll continue to promote these live streams when they're happening, and then again when they go up on video on the site. How can people get a hold of you, Zach, if they want to contact you?
Twitter is usually the best way. It's at ZATCHJ62.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks again, and thank you all for watching either this video on the live stream or after the fact on the site. We'll catch you next time.